everyone, Nemo here. Today is the first day of 2025, which means it's also my birthday. So naturally, as I get a year older, I reflect on the year that's just gone by. And what a year it's been. Let's go over it in a little more detail. The first few months of the year were quiet as I dug into the church's finances and the extent, or lack, of charitable giving compared to income. April saw the announcement of a temple in Edinburgh, and that's not Edinburgh of the Seven Seas, it's
Edinburgh, Scotland.
Later that month I met up with Peter Bleakley and RFM to discuss the future of the LDS Church, before flying out to Ireland to watch them close the only district on the British Isles and merge it into what one member affectionately called the Irish Free Stake. With the whole of the Republic of Ireland now just a single stake, the stake was big enough, technically I think, at least by Russell M. Nelson's seemingly arbitrary standards, to qualify for a temple about 6 months later.
Dublin, Ireland.
June saw things really ramping up as I flew 10,000 miles in 72 hours to address the town council of Fairview, Texas for just 3 minutes. It was absolutely worth it to try and help this small town of 11,000 people defend themselves from a church that, almost from the get-go, threatened to sue them if they didn't get their way.
So this town, if it's found to violate, will need to comply or face enforcement rules from the Department of Justice.
A little bit closer to home and later in the summer, I met Indra the tapir in order to try and finally put to bed the nonsense peddled by Dan Peterson and others that horses, as described in the Book of Mormon, are these odd-toed ungulates.
Sorry Jasmine, but this nonsense has to stop.
I donated all the ad revenue from that video, plus a little bit extra, to the zoo where Indra lives.
It's time for me to remind you how all this has been made possible.
This is the point a YouTuber would normally thank their channel sponsor, but I don't have one.
Instead, I have you, the viewers, to thank. For everything, really. From the flights that have taken me around the world to the camera that I'm shooting this video on now. Everything has been provided for by you, the viewers. I've been able to do all of this through the generous donations of you lot.
I'm not unaware of the fact that I have an incredible job, and it's all thanks to you. If you want to see this channel continue this year, then there's a few simple things you can do. Firstly, keep watching the videos and liking them. That's the fundamental of it all. If you want to go a little bit further, you can become a channel member. It's the cheapest thing you can do to directly support me financially, and if enough of you do just that, it provides me with a stable income to pay my bills and that sort of thing. If you really want to go the extra mile, you can send $10, $15, $20 a month, or however much you can afford, to the donor box link in the description. By and large, that is where the majority of my income comes from, and that is how I'm currently able to feed myself. Finally, I want to let you all know how much I really appreciate however you've supported me this year, financially, liking the videos, or just being there in the comments. Now let's get back into the year. My now infamous interview with Lad Bible was aired in August of 2024. Hi, I'm Nemo, and I'm a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. I'm here to answer the questions in the Honesty Box. And a few weeks later, I spoke on BBC Radio about that interview and my activism within the church more broadly.
How would you feel if you discovered something really shocking about your community? This is what happened to the very popular but very controversial online influencer. He's called Nemo. He calls himself Nemo the Mormon. He is a member of the Church of Jesus Christ of the Latter-day Saints. He makes videos about the parts of his religion that he doesn't agree with.
Both of these interviews discussed my perspectives as a member of the church, and I spoke honestly about the church. Maybe too honestly, because it seems that these interviews were the straw that broke the camel's back, and in early September I received a letter inviting me to a church disciplinary council. Despite numerous reassurances from my stake president in hours-long conversations, and without warning, I was suddenly on the road to excommunication. It was an emotionally turbulent time, to say the least. There were so many reasons that I wanted to remain a member of the church. Among them, I wanted to hold a place for people who maybe didn't believe, but wanted to attend for community and family reasons. I wanted to show that people could choose to stay, believing or not believing, while being honest about their concerns. I wanted to help members and former members stand up to the ways in which the church was taking them and their money for granted. And in many ways, for me, 2024 represents the pinnacle of my efforts in that space.
Now 2024 is over, and like Icarus, I flew too close to the sun. And so, I'm no longer a member of the Mormon Church, and I find myself, strangely, at a sort of a crossroads. Yeah. Get it?
Standing here at the top of White Horse Hill in Oxfordshire, one of my favourite places in the world, I'm looking out at an uncertain future. It's clear to me now that there is no place in the Mormon Church for those who want it to be better, and are willing to speak out against its flaws while trying to remain within the community. I tried to stay and make things better, and in some ways I did. I helped ensure people working with children in the UK church are now background checked. I took my concerns about the dishonesty of church leaders all the way to the top of the church, and proved once and for all that not only does common consent not work in the Mormon Church, but that the leaders, when confronted with their lies, will throw each other under the bus and tacitly admit that they are indeed lying to us. Since discovering those lies nearly 5 years ago, I have worked respectfully within the church's own systems as a member, as well as publicly advocating on this YouTube channel and on national and international media platforms. And now that I've been rewarded for my efforts with Excommunication, and I'm outside of the church, I'm forced to confront the question, what next? What will I do with my voice? Because it certainly seems the church thinks removing my membership will remove my voice. But as you'll see over the course of the next year, I'm just getting started. To follow that journey, be sure to subscribe.